Hey guys, so another day, another bank run. Happily, this time it's not one of ours. Credit Suisse, a giant Swiss bank, one of the largest in the world, fell 25% overnight. Now it looks like they're down more like 30%. So people are worried about contagion, right? We are in the midst of a bank panic here in the US, and so is this going to contribute to that? So Credit Suisse's problems predate our current bout of panics. In fact, they go back to the European sovereign debt crisis about a decade ago. Last year, Credit Suisse posted about an $8 billion loss. That had already been putting pressure on them. And then today's trigger seems to be that they had difficulty raising capital. It looks like it's for regulatory reasons. So one of their biggest shareholders, they were trying to raise money from them, and they're Saudi, and apparently that's an issue. Worst case, Switzerland and the EU will almost certainly jump in to bail out Credit Suisse, because they want to limit contagion. The EU normally has trouble sort of lining up its cats, but historically when things hit the fan, they do line up. Going by the sovereign debt crisis in Europe a decade ago, the problems here are not necessarily going to spread to the US. What we should expect is that there will be losses to American banks and to American counterparties of Credit Suisse, in other words, banks and financial institutions that do business with them. So no direct contagion, but definitely losses. Still, the timing is very unfortunate. People in the US are, of course, right now very nervous given our own bank panics, and we're not exactly certain if those are finished. Sort of the background here, I mean, the damage has been limited so far, right? We're looking at something like 3 or 5% drop in US bank, the major banks, and then about a 5% drop in investment banks. So not yet catastrophic. Of course, who knows what's going to come next, but at the moment, it does not look catastrophic. And just kind of highlight here, this is almost precisely the reason why Satoshi invented Bitcoin in 2000. He invented it in 2008. The very first block that came out, he cited the Bank of England bailout. And so I think many of us did not expect history to repeat quite this quickly, but it's looking like it is. So going forward, I don't think that we're going to see catastrophic contagion over here in the US, but this is definitely something to watch. And, for all the clownery that we have here in the US, for all the irresponsible bankers, the irresponsible regulators, bureaucrats, politicians, I think the bigger picture here is that they are even worse in Europe, apparently in Switzerland, which I think surprises many people, in Japan, really across the world, Canada, Australia. So I think that we are likely to see a lot more things breaking from the sort of worldwide coordinated inflation and then interest rate hikes. That is something that is probably going to be putting pressure on pretty much every country across the world over the next year or so. Okay, see you guys next time.